were expecting to do that. He did not join the team today here. So he may stay in Syracuse and play a couple more games and just get more of a tune in, right, with his swing. And so he'll probably meet us this weekend. But the expectations of having him tomorrow now have moved forward a little bit. Play a couple more games there and still get the at bats and still get the feel. He's fine. There's been no concern with his hand anymore, but just to keep getting a couple more at bats before he joins us.
Tony DeComo, your line's open.
Hey, Luis. Everything all right with Conforto? This is, I think, 2 out of 4 that he's out of the lineup.
Yeah, everything's all right. He just had a day off or a game off on the day that he played. He hasn't had a full day off since he came back. So this is just something that we thought of doing as a group, including the performance staff and Conforto himself. So he takes a start off, we could call it. But everything's okay with him.
Is that something that, with his hamstring, with his lower body stuff, you are planning on doing more regularly, or is this just because he's fresh off the IL, you want to get him a day and he'll be an everyday player going forward?
Yeah, this is more so because of just coming of the IL and the ramp up of playing activity and how the weather is out there. All the things that we can take in consideration and just lead to this decision, and so we can have him moving forward fresher, right, and not ramp him up high too quickly.
Next up is Tim Healy. Go ahead, Tim.
With Peterson and Walker, I see you have Peterson penciled in for Wednesday. I assume that means Walker on Friday. How do you decide between those two which to give the extra rest?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually we go with a guy like Walker to get that extra rest. I mean, he's the guy that he's dealt with stuff throughout this time, and we actually did a stint for us at one point, right? So we want to make sure that he stays fresh, and this is some of the decisions that we make, knowing that he's still going to have the same amount of starts before the All-Star break. I mean, somebody can take the luxury of having an extra day, like we're doing with him and Stroh now. Like, these things we can take advantage of. So that's where we balance it. If it would have been a different case, we actually we bring Walker earlier sometimes, right? And we give somebody an extra day just because we want to have more star for the guy that's been performing better. But right now we're taking in consideration like the health part.
And with Nimmo, is he still experiencing any pain or discomfort in his hands?
No, he's not. This is more so the at-bats, extra at-bats to keep getting his timing and different things. As you guys know, it's been a while since he played the games. And even though we expected, according to the schedule, to potentially meet us tomorrow, like, it's still, a couple of more games before he joins us, and he's at that point where he's going to be ready for us and perform at the level that we want him to perform.
I know he went through a few different diagnoses. What did his hand injury end up actually being? Something with the ligament?
Yeah, it was different things, and he saw different specialists. He saw somebody in HSS, and then he saw another one, I believe it was in Ohio, that he saw and gave him as well even more in-depth, a more in-depth prognosis. And he learned that he had something like in the, not only the muscle, but also like in the ligament there. But the treatment was always the same. It wasn't anything that was going to change the treatment. But it made sense on the timing on how long it took because of the hand injury. I mean, we see hand injuries as a simple thing sometimes, and we can ask why guys, why it takes some, the amount of time that it could take, like it's been with him and it's been with JD. but it's just the hand injuries are more complex that you can think. We're all the different muscles, bones that you have in there. So everything that he learned throughout the process and we learned throughout the process didn't make a difference on how the treatment was, but we did learn that why it took so long. But at this point, he is fine, which is what matters to us. And the reason why he's staying extra days is because he's getting extra bats, so he can be ready for us.
Thank you, Luis.
Sure.
Next question comes from Matthew Roberson.
Hey, Louis, you guys are coming to the end of this stretch here where you've played 16 straight games against NL East teams. I'm just wondering, what have you learned about the division during this stretch? And more importantly, what have you learned about your team?
Well, and it's a tough division. I mean, we said it always since the off seasons in spring training and now during the season. We said it's a tough division. I think everyone in the division has dealt with a lot of injuries. Significant pieces of every team in this division have been out for a period of time. But that just keeps the division balanced, right? Still tough. We all got to find a way to keep our teams moving forward. And I think everyone's done it in the division, even though all teams have gone through the injury struggle. So we've seen that throughout the different series, watching Philly and Washington and the Braves lately. We just got to keep going like we've been going, man, preparing each day. Like today we play one of those games that we lost earlier in the season and then coming to Washington for one day and then keep going to Atlanta. Like those are challenges, but you can pile them up with all the challenges that we have and with all the challenges that other teams had as well. So I think that is a fair game to this point. Like everyone is on the same boat. We just got to do what we got to do. Keep preparing the same way, keep having the same mindset. But the division's tight. I mean, there's a lot of talent, and we just got to prepare every day because, like, we saw these guys last week, and we saw one guy that was scorching hot, and we're gonna see him again tonight. So we got to make our adjustment against him.
Thank you.
Mike Puma, your line's open.
Louis, you have Eichhoff and McGill. You have one rotation spot, kind of two guys. Do you view this as a open competition, or is the fact that McGill has options remaining make it not so much of a competition?
Yeah, both of these guys threw the ball well. The one time they got the chance to perform for us as starters in the middle of a need, right? Losing Lucchesi and when some guys have gone short in their outings. So it comes out great. We just want to keep them around right now and pitching at the level they're pitching. They can help us in different capacities. So if there's not a spot in the rotation, one of them can help us and to be a long guy and do something similar to what Oswald did for us yesterday. Oswald saved our bullpen yesterday. He was great, and that's another option too to start game for us. So, I mean, I think it's a good problem to have with the need that we have right now, at this point. And they've been part of this whole pitching formula because they pitch at the same level that everyone's pitched with only one start, but they pitch at the same level in that one start.
What did you like about McGill in his first start?
Well, good fastball. First of all, the poise. I think I said enough about that. He handled his debut very well in front of a good crowd in Citi Field, and his poise was outstanding. The fastball was, for me, the pitch. I mean, he established it. He topped 96, and I think that made everything else play out. Right, the slider played out, the changeup played out. Just a good outing for them. He'll see the Braves again tomorrow. So. And then Eichhoff did the same thing. He's a veteran pitcher. He's mixing his breaking balls. So we're looking at some of the same tonight. See if those guys give us a chance to score some runs and get a win.
Thank you.
Tim Britton, go ahead. Your line's open.
Hey, Luis. You mentioned Walker's prior IL stint and that he's been dealing with some stuff. Is there anything specific he's going through now that might prevent him from making that start Friday, or is this just taking advantage of that extra day?
No, yeah, it's just taking advantage of it. We've had different guys that dealt with different things, right? We had Stroman came out the other day. He stayed in line with the 5. You know, he's going now with the family matter, and he's getting the extra day. I think that works perfect. And now that we get a chance, I think he can work well with T-Walk, knowing that he had this at the beginning of the season. If something happens with a Jake start as well, where he's going to have the same amount of starts before the All-Star break, like we would do something like this with Jake too. So it's nothing more than that. Walk is doing good. You know, he's a hard worker, but we want him fresh all the way throughout the season. Like we want everyone else fresh. Guys are coming back. I think, you know, those are great news with all the bad news that we had in the 3 months that we've been playing baseball so far, with all the guys going on the IL. So we want to be better, you know, preventing that moving forward. We don't need those things to happen in August and September, right? So that's where we come from with some of these decisions.
Thanks.
Great, Louis. Thank you very much for the time.
Thanks, Harold. See you guys.
Everybody, per usual, look for a link in game for all post-game interviews. See you then.